Hello crafty people, so this is Kellyanne Jordan from Crafty Kellys at www.craftykelly.co.uk. If you don't know who I am a craft demonstrator, and you can see me on Create and Craft for several different brands. I also run my own YouTube channel, that's where you're finding me today, and I'd just like to share some of my kind of crafty makes and what I'm working on at this moment. Today I wanted to do another journal inspiration card. If you've been following my series, we're on to now card number, or page number 5. So previously we have done some nice kind of butterfly splodgy wodgies, and then we've got that lovely typewriter by Lou Collins. Some lovely stamps from Stamps by Me and some heat embossing, and then the robots by Tim Holtz. And today I wanted to do a take on a card that I made for one of my projects for my Altenew education program. Sorry, brain's not working. This one here, it's got the rainbow theme. And I wanted to use some of my other products to make a similar style to keep that in my journal for when I want to look back at it. But if you want to see the tutorial for this, there is a video on my blog. We're going to be using slightly different things today, and it's going to go in the journal. Before I move on, guys, please, if you like what I do, please subscribe to my channel. Please find me on Instagram, Facebook, and my website. Find me, follow me, comment. I love to hear from you. And if there's anything in particular that you would like to see, just get in touch and I'll see what I can do. So what I've got today is I've got a stamp set that I got from our lovely Tony. It's part of the Crafting Together. Now I know she's got another event coming up soon, so if you want tickets, please go to her website and find them. So Tony Darrett runs Stamps by Me, and she does really fantastic crafting together craft kind of fair conventions, so get involved if you can. So I'm going to be using this one. I have demonstrated it on one of her shows before. It's a really lovely stamp set, but I think that's going to work well for this. What else do I have? I have a range of rainbow style colours from Tim Holtz. We're going to try out all the ones that I've got. So I've got like carved pumpkin, is it oh, it's the new poison one. I can't read it. How bad is that? I will put a description of all of the products I use in my video on my blog, so you can find everything if I get my names wrong, because that happens. My dyslexic brain just doesn't always let me process it. So we've got all these kind of rainbow colours. I've got 6 colours to work with, and we're going to do a bit of white heat embossing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to flip you around, and then we can start to create. So I've got my page ready. So these are the previous pages. Obviously I've put in my recipe after the video, so then I've got a full list of everything I've used on my desk. I'm going to take a piece of paper, because for this I'd quite like a black border around this page. Oh, actually, let's use my messy mat. I want a black border, and I've already cut my watercolour cardstock to fit in here, and I've got a scrap to do any testing of my colours, just in case maybe I want to swap a colour out for another one. So what I'm going to do first off is just mask off the other page to try and stop any extra kind of what's the word I'm looking for, like transfer of ink, because I don't want to transfer it onto this. So instead of actually using black cardstock in here, because I feel like it might make my book a little bit bulky and I don't want that for this book, I'm going to use some sticky notes to just cover this off. And then I could use black paint, gesso. I do have some black gesso, but I think I'm just going to go in with some black memento. This is a water-based ink, just around that edge to give me my black border. I'm kind of cheating, aren't I? So I'm just going to take that right in there and work the whole way around the page. So I've now created my black outline. Pop those over to one side. Pop that on. I'm going to try and make sure I haven't got too much ink on my fingers, because when I pick up my white card I don't want to transfer any on there. You can see that straight away I've got that lovely kind of black border to frame my book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move my book over to one side for the moment. One, it will let the ink dry, and two, I want to start working on this page. So first things first, I need to grab a stamping tool. What one am I going to grab? What's next to me? Ooh, what is next to me? My workspace is a little chaotic at the moment. It's funny, isn't it? I had it all spotless and tidy and sorted, and it's like an explosion has happened in my craft room. I'm sure other people feel the same. Now I am using the Stamps by Me Carter. I keep calling it cartel. My bad. Cardstock. I'm just going to pop that down with that, just to hold it in place for me. That should be enough. If it's not, I will grab a sticky grid from somewhere. So these are a photopolymer stamp. So our lovely clear stamps. So I can see straight through it when positioning. So I know where I'm going to, you know, if I've got it in the right spot. So I might actually, just to change your mind, because that's a little bit small. I could have done with Tony's one, but I'm not sure. Oh, I don't know what I've done with it. So I'm going to just pop this down. Let's have it hanging over so I can do it over there. I'm just using the sticky edge of my sticky notes to kind of just hold it in place so it doesn't move. I've probably got some low-tack tape somewhere. Right, I'm going to just position this floral stamp about there, but first of all it does have some black ink on it, and I'm not sure if that is permanent or water-based, so I'm just going to give it a quick spritz. Make sure that I don't get any of that black onto the project, because I don't want a black smear. But I can't remember if it was permanent or if it was not. But it looks like it was a permanent ink, so that's all right, it shouldn't come off. Okay. So, yeah, okay. Take that in like that. So with this I'm going quite far in, because the page is narrow and long, so I can take those paint colours up a little bit higher. Okay, I'm going to grab my Versamark. Obviously use whatever clear ink you have for embossing. If you wanted, you can obviously do it in black or in any colour really. Entirely up to you. God, that's looking a bit blank, isn't it? Let's get that clean. Right. Just giving it a firm press. Probably going to have to do it again. Yeah, there's just a few patches that could do with just a touch more. This stamping platform I'm using, this one's the Rare Earth Load and Fold. There is a version of it on where is it called? Amazon. Very, very similar. To be fair, it's probably exactly the same, just without the name of Rare Earth on it. They are really like handy stamping tools. If you don't use red rubber stamps, they are really good because they just close like a book. Right, let's pop you over to one side. I will have to get it back out in a second to do my sentiment when I choose what I'm going to have on there. But first of all, let's see, look, I've got ink on it. Goodness sake, Kelly. Yeah, should not have used my slightly murky. Oh, I might change a bit of card. Yeah, I am. I don't like that. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so what I did is I used my my actual reverse, which is, you know, the spare side, just to quickly redo that because it had that mark that I did not like. So I'm just going to sprinkle my white embossing powder all over the image to make sure I've got nice good coverage. I probably should have used my embossing buddy, but quite often I just forget, and sometimes you still get a lovely impression even if you don't, but for best practice you should use it. So that's your just anti-static bag. Let's pop the rest of this away because I will get it everywhere. Right, pop that away and that, and just give that a little blow. Yeah, just got a little bit there. That's fine. Let's grab my heat tool. Which was beside me. Oh, it is beside me. It's just not plugged in. So when heat embossing, I make sure that my tool is up to heat before taking it to my cardstock, just so it is on the cardstock for as little time as possible to help stop warping in the card. As soon as it starts to turn, I'm just moving that heat tool onto the next spot. Yeah, because you don't want to leave the heat on it too long, because it is like a plastic you're melting. It can burn, it can distort if you heat it for too long. So I think let's double check. Oh, I've got one little spot there. There we go. So we've got, which you might not be able to see very well, but we've got that white embossing right on it, which has got a nice little shimmer. Fabulous. Now, down to our inkiness. Now I'm going to keep that off to one side. Let's just work on here for now, because I'm going to need to do some smashing with my ink pads. So I'm going to take my crackled campfire and just add it to my mat, so I can start painting with it. Now obviously whatever inks you've got at home, if you've got Stampin' Up, if you've got Altenew, whatever it is that you've got, obviously, you know, work with what you've got, unless you particularly really want the colour that I'm showing you. I'm just going to start by working in this corner with the red, and let's make it nice. And I'm not what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not being too worried about the way I'm painting, because I'm doing like kind of like a wash across, so it's gonna be a bit watery, be a bit messy. It doesn't matter that it's in the lines or out the lines. That's just the kind of style we've got here. I'm add in a bit more, because this is quite an orangey red. I didn't think it was this orangey. That's why I should have tested it first, shouldn't I? But actually, you know, if I add a bit more, that is fine. That is fine. So I'm just going to blend a little bit out, because we're going to start adding the next colour. Just make that edge a little bit watery. Okay, so I'm going to then just take all of that ink off my brush. There we go. And on to the next colour, which is our orange. Carved pumpkin I'm using for this one. I'll pick up as much of that colour as I can. Start here and bringing that up. Kind of just blend those corners in. I don't want it to kind of seep into each other, but I want a nice kind of blend between the colours. Let's pick up some more. So I'm not squeezing to activate any more water in here. I want to try and get as much of that colour just as it is. That's quite nice. Is that enough orange? Let's take out just a tad more. Let's scrub all the edges a little bit so it's not a dead straight line. So I'm kind of doing a dry technique with this because I'm not adding water to my cardstock first. I am only taking the pigment that's on my paintbrush and the water that I've used to pick it up with on the brush. What colour next? Yellow. Oh, my tea's gone cold. I do find sometimes with a yellow it goes a bit muddy, so I've got to be very careful that I don't get that muddy look. Let's double check this yellow actually. This is why I have this bit of card, Kelly. Okay. No, that's okay. I'm happy with that colour. So I'm just picking up some of that colour. So I've got a really strong, vibrant yellow. I'm going to start this side and blend that out. What we can do. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it slightly closer to that line between them. And let's just add a little bit of water. So I'm going to just squeeze the barrel. So I've got some water that I can give them a little bit of a blend. I'm just doing a little bit of a kind of like circular motion just to kind of activate the colours in between. So I've got a nice kind of blend. I think I need a little bit more yellow. So, oh, so daisy. I'll give that another squidge. Okay, lovely. So, done with that colour. So, we have done red, orange, yellow, and it'll be green, blue and purple. putting them in order. So I'm going to take it up to the sides of the card there. So let's give that a squidge of green. And I think my brush is clean. Yeah. So let's pick up that colour, saturate that bristles. I'll turn the card slightly and start working from here. Oh, that's quite a dark green. I might blend that out a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of water there because I want to soften that a little. Okay, so now let's start blending those colours. Take off some colour so it doesn't get too muddy and too greeny. Blah. Nice, yeah, that's good, that's good. Next, blue, my favourite colour. I haven't left myself enough space, have I, Kel? What are you doing? So let's get all that green off of that paintbrush because I don't want that to change the colour. Let's start to take this up here. I was going to use the new Prized Ribbon by Tim Holtz, and I have no idea what I've done with it. I'm sure I used it on a show not so long ago, but I literally have no idea. I've got my oxide, it's on my shelf, but I have no idea what I've done with the actual distress ink. It's a bit annoying, isn't it? Oh well. It'll turn up. It's got to be in a box or something somewhere in my mess. So once again, I'm just going to try and blend those edges. There we go. Get that colour. I've got a little bit too much kind of water there. Take it back a bit. There we go. A little bit more of that just there. And let's get this purple in. Oops. Oh, I've used all my water in this brush. I've got another one. I'm just going to mop up that red water and use that for my purple squidge. Double check this one's working alright. Yeah. Okay, so let's pick up some of that colour. Start laying that down. So this is one of the brushes from Tonic. I've got to say it's not my favourite because as you can see I'm getting that kind of splurting when I'm trying to kind of activate and get some water out of here. And those bubbles that kind of splurt everywhere. But, you know, aside from that, it works perfectly fine. Just going to blend this line so it's not so prominent. We've got a little bit of fade there. I'm going to add a little bit more going up here. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to give it a little dry with my heat tool, and then I can just add my sentiment. So once again, this is a nice quick one, but I think it's a really nice kind of layout that I've done before. And that's the whole idea about this series, is like capturing things that I've liked working with, so then I can look back at them and go, oh yes, I like that. So I've not cleared this off just yet. I'm going to use some of those colours for splatters, so I'm just moving it out of my way for a sec. Now let's get that stamp set back in and let's see, oops, so dainty, what sentiment we should choose. Wishing you lots of happiness. That's nice. Best friends forever. No. You make me smile. That's nice, because a rainbow does make me smile. So I think for me, yeah, that's a nice one. That works. So, oh, there's my tape. Just going to use a little bit of low tack tape just to hold that in place. It's got a bit of ink on it. Oh no, we're all right, I think. I hope. Where's the other bit? There it is. There it is. So I do want that in this kind of top corner, so I'm going to have to move that tape just down. About there. Yeah. Is that level? I think so. Let's just give that a squidge down. And then black ink. I did have it to hand. Oh, there it is. It's not quite inked up completely yet. Right, the beauty of using a stamping tool is I can go back if it misinks, which I cannot do with a block, although I do like using blocks. Okay, a little bit more. Oh gosh, God, that could have been a disaster, couldn't it? So clumsy. I have done that, like the last bit of the project, and I've dropped an ink pad on it. Has anybody else done that? Yeah, nightmare. So, nice proper squidge in the middle there, because that's just where it wasn't transferring just as well. Perfect. Right. So now we just need to do some splatters, because I do love a splatter. Do you think we should do the purple? Yeah. So I'm just going to bring this bit of paper in just to catch any of my mess, and something hard to bash it against. So a bit of that purple. And then I think I'm going to pick up some of the blue. Very nice. Let's just take off some of that. What I will do is I shall just take a little bit of water in my fingers. Pop it on, take my rag, give it a pat down. Now I've got just a couple of little splodges that lift. Happy with that. So there is kind of our piece to insert into the book. Let's bring that back in. And then there's only one more thing I want to do after I've stuck it in. I want to put some drops on it. So let's get that top corner. Give it a good squidge. So that's looking really nice. I like that. Should have probably put a little bit more glue on those corners. Oh well. Let's give it a squidge down. Squidge down. Now I've got some of these, like epoxy drops. I really do like these. I have done my own with what's it called, the Glossy Accents, and that's what I did with the last when I made this into a card. But I kind of I'll bring the card in so you can see. It kind of, I don't know, my Glossy Accents went a bit yellow instead of being clear, so I think these are better for me. So I'll do a 3 because I like the kind of triangle to draw the eye in. Pop those there. So let's get that card back in so you can see the kind of what we've created. So this, I've gone a little bit darker with the colours here, which I actually prefer, if I'm honest. I think I used the Altenew inks for this one. And I really like the fact that I can use different stamps and I can still get this really lovely kind of effect. So what I will do is for the next one I will get my recipe in, and on the blog post we'll have, oh, let me flip you over because I'm just like talking at nothing. So what I'll do is I'll get all the ingredients that I've used, popped it in the book, and I will pop it on the blog post. So there it is. I think that's really nice. I love the way, and I think I might do another rainbow page after this one. Yeah, because I've got a couple of cards that I've done rainbow style that I kind of like. Now I want to add in to my book. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that with me today. A little bit of watercolouring, a little bit of heat embossing. If you've got any questions, just drop me a line. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate any support from you guys. And I will see you again soon. You can find me at www.craftykelly.co.uk, and I'll catch you all again soon. Bye now.